I'm Tyler Austin from Gungnir Strategic. Thank you so much for watching. In this video, I'm going to do a brief review on the Smith & Wesson M&P 5.7. Now, this has filled a void for me that I've been wanting to fill for many, many years now. I am a huge fan of the 5.7 caliber. Honestly, it's my favorite pistol caliber of all time. However, for a very long time, the only pistol that you could get that was chambered in 5.7 was the FN 5.7. And although I'm a huge fan of the 5.7 caliber itself, I wasn't the biggest fan of the actual FN 5.7. Not saying it's a bad gun, it's certainly not a bad pistol by any stretch of the imagination. However, it has its quirks, and it's honestly, it wouldn't be a very good pistol to conceal carry, which is primarily what I was looking for in a 5.7 pistol. Now, a few years ago, other companies have started manufacturing pistols chambered in 5.7, mainly Ruger and Palmetto State Armory. And although I don't have anything against those guns, I've shot several of them. They really weren't what I was looking for. Now, once Smith & Wesson announced they were coming out with an M&P 5.7, I got very excited, and I was probably the first one to jump in and buy one off the assembly line. I was very excited for this, and it has honestly become my favorite modern semi-auto pistol that I own. I absolutely love this thing. And in terms of what is on the market currently for pistols chambered in 5.7, this has come closest to what I was looking for, which was a 5.7 pistol that was at least small enough that you can comfortably conceal carry. And I do conceal carry this rather often. Although, to be fair, Smith & Wesson probably never intended this to be a carry pistol, and certainly this, due to its design, it's rather long, and it's certainly not the smallest pistol to carry. It would certainly still be considered a full-length pistol. It is relatively thin, and it's actually fairly comfortable and concealable to carry. And like I said, I do conceal carry this quite often. It has a 22+1 capacity, which is huge, especially for a carry gun. The pistol is probably the smoothest semi-auto pistol I've ever shot. It has about 40% the recoil of 9mm if I was to put a number on it. And it actually has a lot less recoil than the FN 5.7 and even some of the other 5.7 pistols on the market. It has a very interesting system. It's not a direct blowback, which is virtually all the pistols out there. It actually has a gas port, and it has a bolt and in the locking lug. I mean, it almost functions more like a rifle than it does a pistol, which is really interesting, and I think, and in my opinion, that contributes to the lack of recoil and the smoothness of the pistol. On top of that, this pistol honestly has the nicest trigger I have ever felt on any pistol, period, and that includes pistols with aftermarket triggers. This thing is so light, it's almost too light for a carry gun, to be honest. It is insanely light and insanely smooth. Now, this actually is not a striker-fired pistol. This has an internal hammer on it. Like I've already said, it's a dream to shoot. It's honestly laughable how little recoil it has. It feels like you're shooting a .22, quite honestly, although you could argue 5.7 is just a very spicy .22, essentially, but it does feel like you're shooting .22 rimfire. It's that light. Now, to be completely honest, of course, although I absolutely love this pistol, it hasn't been perfect for me. Unfortunately, after the first 200 rounds, the firing pin broke, and that was rather unfortunate, but I did call Smith & Wesson, and they replaced it totally free. And since the new firing pin, I have probably around 400 rounds through this at this point, and the firing pin hasn't had any issues. So maybe it was a fluke, although I think I've heard other people have similar issues with firing pins breaking, so maybe in the beginning, like with any new pistol, there's going to be some sort of quirks with them. It's just the way it is when you release a brand new pistol. So probably something wrong, metal, in terms of the temper or whatever with the firing pins, and the firing pins were just faulty. But since the new firing pin, I haven't had that issue. And the other issue with this was that the iron sights were way off. At 50 yards, if I was aiming center mass, it was hitting on the very far left of the target. It wasn't me I confirmed this while shooting it off a rest. So I had to adjust the sights pretty significantly because they were way off, which in my experience isn't terribly typical for pistols off the line with iron sights. Most iron sights off pistols tend to be pretty spot on out of the box. Outside of those two things, I absolutely love this thing, and like I said, it has become my favorite modern semi-auto pistol out on the market. I really hope Smith & Wesson considers making a more concealed carry version of this, maybe chopping the barrel down slightly, getting rid of the threaded muzzle. I think that would be a good idea. Maybe shortening the grip slightly, even if that drops around count a few. Still, it would make it just a little bit smaller to make it a little bit more appealing for concealed carry. I think that would be a good option for this pistol. Talking about the threaded barrel, because it has a cap here, make sure that you check this every so often and make sure it's not coming too loose. Even though I blue Loctite mine, because it's at the end of the muzzle and it gets hot, that blue Loctite melts and it's not as effective. So I do find that this thing tends to back off after a good course of fire. So make sure you keep checking that if you aren't putting anything on that muzzle. Anyway, so that's my brief review of the M&P 5.7. Highly recommended if you're into 5.7 pistols. Absolutely love this thing, and in my opinion, this is by far the best 5.7 pistol on the market, and it's not even close. I hope you found this video helpful and informative, or at least entertaining. If you did, please like and subscribe. I'm Tyler Austin from Gungnir Strategic. Thank you so much for watching.